Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network. Attention Ditto Heads. Attention Bo Scouts.
Goes by the pseudonym Bo Snerdley.
It's time for the soul of excellence.
He is a radio host here in New York.
The Rush Hour is on the air.
Rush.
Now here's James Golden.
Finally, it's outrageous that Kristi Noem still has a job in the administration after federal officers murdered 2 American citizens in just 2 weeks. And it is even more disgusting that on each occasion, Kristi Noem lies about what took place.
Really?
For the good of the country, Donald Trump needs to fire Kristi Noem at once.
No, he doesn't.
Noem is a liar. Noem is incompetent in her job, and she must go. Many Republicans here in Congress agree that Kristi Noem has lost the trust of the American people. Donald Trump needs to recognize that the tide is turned against her, and that her presence does far more harm than good at this point. Donald Trump needs to show Kristi Noem the door and send her packing.
It's disgraceful. She's got to go. We are dead serious. She needs to be put on ice permanently. She's got to go. And by the way, she's not the only one.
She needs to be put on ice permanently. That sounds like he wants. That doesn't sound good. Murdered. I guess Chuck U. Schumer, Democrats, said the judge, the juries of cases, they've decided ICE murdered people and that people are lying. Chuck U. Schumer murders the truth just about every time he opens his mouth from the Senate floor, in my humble opinion. Welcome, my friends, to the Thursday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. And we have a lot to discuss. Yeah, you know, everybody's dumping on ICE, Barbie. Carlos asked me when the show was starting if there's going to really be a government shutdown. We have news of that, too. The Senate today rejected a package of spending bills to fund roughly half the government agencies, putting much of the government on a collision course with a shutdown set to begin this weekend. So you see, ladies and gentlemen, it won't be a full shutdown. It could be a partial shutdown. And then what does that mean? I'll tell you what it means. Lawmakers in both parties have expressed an openness to carving out the DHS appropriations. That's the big thing. They want to shut the money flow off for the Department of Homeland Security, meaning ICE and all the rest of it. But there are 5 other spending bills that are still outstanding. The defense bill, the labor bill, health and human services, education, transportation, housing, urban development, state and treasury, as a bunch of other assorted agencies. So under the plan that they're trying to work on now, Congress would come up with a stopgap, a continuing resolution to fund some of these things. Now, that path could lead to a short shutdown because funding those agencies is expected to, it runs out on Saturday. Once an agreement clears the House, it clears the Senate, it has to go back to the House, which is on recess. So if the Senate doesn't act to do something, then Yeah, there's going to be a shutdown. Now, Trump is saying he doesn't want a shutdown. While a deal has not been reached as Thursday afternoon, Trump, I'm getting this from government executive, by the way, website that government employees read. Trump said he was hopeful one would soon emerge. Hopefully we won't have a shutdown. We're working on that right now. I think we're getting close. The Democrats, I don't believe they want to see it either. So we'll work in a bipartisan way, I believe, not to have a shutdown. Yeah, right. Democrats want to shut down. They want to shut down. And then Chuck Schumer, who murders the truth on a regular basis, has put out a list of demands, what it would take. And by the way, there were 7 Republicans who voted along with the Demis to the demagogues, the Democrats, to shut the government down. Republican Senators Ted Budd, North Carolina, Ron Johnson, Wisconsin, Mike Lee, Utah, Ashley Moody, Rick Scott of Florida, Rand Paul, Kentucky, Tommy Tuberville of Alabama. Now, they're not, some of them have expressed concerns about the number of earmarks that are in the House bill. You know what an earmark is, Carlos? Earmark. That's when Congress people write in how they're going to spend money on this, that. They're earmarks. They're favorite little perks where they want to send money to and it's put in the bill. That's abused a lot. They're called earmarks. So these Congress people put a lot of earmarks in there, and Republicans are kind of upset about it, some of them, and we'll see. The DHS bill that they all want carved out, by the way, also funds the Coast Guard, the Secret Service, the Federal Emergency Management Agencies, the TSA. So, yeah, Democrats want to just cripple everything because they want to protect illegal immigration and illegal immigrants at all costs. You heard Hakeem Jeffries. He wants Kristi Noem's scalp. He wants her put on ice permanently. Permanently. Put her on ice. Permanently. There was a cabinet meeting today. Big story. Not big story. A one-pager in the Hill. Noem silent during Trump cabinet meeting. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem did not speak during President Trump's cabinet meeting on Thursday amid the administration's shift in messaging. Noem was not the only cabinet secretary to sit silently and not be called on. However, the president has each secretary speak in prior cabinet meetings, so people are reading a lot into that. He also didn't take any questions during the meeting, which ran for more than an hour. You know, President Trump has had more cabinet meetings in a year than Joe Biden had in his whole term in office. Have you heard about the big jail? We're going to get more on this, and we have a lot of Tom Homan. He was awesome. We have a lot of that. But have you heard about the daring jailbreak that was thwarted? You heard about that. What? Why are you pointing? You got some audio or something on it? Or
no, you mean like downtown? Oh, no, in Brooklyn.
No, not the jailbreak downtown. No, not that one. A Minnesota man. That's how this story begins. That's almost as good as saying a Florida man. When you see a Florida man, a Minnesota man. Minnesota man allegedly tried to break Luigi Mangione out of jail. In New York. Yeah, you were right. It was in New York. Downtown, yes, New York. Disguised himself as an FBI agent in a brazen plot. Brazen, my friends. Mark Anderson, the Minnesota man. 36, charged with impersonating a federal agent as he tried to break Mangione, 27, out of the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, New York. Sources told ABC News the daring escape attempt So Anderson approached the intake area inside the jail to get close to the accused healthcare CEO assassin. He allegedly told officials he had paperwork signed by a judge authorizing the release of Mangione. The scheme fell apart when prison officials asked to see his credentials. So he shows them his Minnesota driver's license. He pulls out his Minnesota driver's license, and then he starts throwing... It's a daring plan. It gets better. After he threw his driver's license up You have some credentials? Yes, here's my Minnesota driver's license. He throws his Minnesota driver's license, best credentials to prove he's an FBI man. And then he told the prison staff he had weapons in his bag. They searched his bag. You know what they found in his bag? They found the barbecue fork and a pizza cutter. So he's going to break Luigi Mangione out of jail with his Minnesota driver's license, posing as an FBI guy. And if he had to get violent, he was going to use his barbecue fork and his pizza cutter to break Mangione out of jail. I'm surprised this guy, he must have got bored with all... He must have got bored fighting ICE and decided, let's go for the big time. Let's go to New York and break Mangione out of jail. What are you taking with you? I got a barbecue fork and a pizza cutter. That ought to do the trick. And I'll just tell them I'm an FBI agent. They won't check.
That's what happens when you can't have guns in the city.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. At least he... It's just liberals. I've never... And they call us a daring jailbreak. A daring jailbreak attempt. James Golden Snerdley with you here. Don't go away. We're coming right back. I'm going to go see if I can round up a barbecue fork from somewhere.
Rush.
This is The Rush Hour with James Golden.
Bo Snerdley.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
James Golden, known popularly as Bo Snerdley.
This is The Rush Hour with James Golden.
Rush.
Yeah. Okay. We are going to get to some other things besides what's going on in Minnesota. We have a lot of time home, and I'm assuming some of you have already heard that. I want to get to some other things, and then I hate saying that term, circle back, but revisit Holman. Virginia. In Virginia, they elected a Democrat, Spanberger. She pretended she's some kind of moderate. This is in Arlington, Virginia. Arlington, Virginia, right outside D.C. It is a liberal media center for the most part, except for what happens on some radio stations down there. But television, largely liberal. I want you to listen to this report from the liberal ABC 7 local news down in Virginia, that's cut 1, on what is taking place since the Democrats took back Virginia with Abigail Spanberger.
Here's a list of the many tax increases and proposals Democrats in Virginia are considering passing. They include additional local sales tax in all Virginia counties and cities, new personal property tax on electric leaf blowers and electric landscaping equipment, large employer tax, gun and ammunition tax, new income tax brackets, a delivery tax. This would hit you if you make an order on Amazon, Uber Eats, or an order that includes UPS, FedEx delivery, etc. here in Northern Virginia. There's also a tax they're looking at for events, concerts, an investment income tax, storage facility tax, gym membership tax, dog walking tax, dog grooming tax, counseling tax, digital personal property tax, new car taxes and highway use fees, an increase in the hotel tax here in Arlington, statewide speed cameras. Now, these aren't taxes, but they would include more fines for some drivers, dry cleaning tax, home repair tax, and a vehicle repair.
And he wasn't through. Did you follow that list of what Democrats want to tax? Now that they're backing off. You had Mondami the other day. We're $10 billion in the hole. We got to raise taxes. Got to tax. And now you go to Virginia and you listen, well, we have Representative Cut 2, Jen Kiggins, who's in Congress, and she's talking about this. Here she is.
Hi, it's Jen Kiggins. Last week when I was up in Washington, so many of my colleagues said, hey, what is happening in Virginia? They, too, were watching the General Assembly in Richmond, and I just wanted to give you guys an update. I know that when the Democrats ran their election cycle last year, they talked about, oh, everything's too expensive. We're going to make your life cheaper. Well, I feel like that was a blatant lie right to our face, because now that the General Assembly is in session, the bills that are coming through, not just rejoining the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative, which is basically a Green New Deal mandate going to raise our energy costs, but all kinds of bills that they've proposed to tax your lawn equipment, to tax delivery service like Uber Eats.
Yeah, keep going. Democrats, my friends, they don't change. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
James Golden, known popularly as Bo Snerdley.
This is The Rush Hour with James Golden.
Rush. You, this is war. You, this is war. This is war. We are at war. War. If anything, I declare war against Trump and ICE. Eat. Haha. Get ready.
I'm telling you, this won't stop until their bodies drop. That's it. There's no other way out of this.
Yeah, two of the awfuls, ladies and gentlemen. One has declared war. I bet there was a big meeting in the White House Situation Room trying to figure out what to do about that declaration of war. You know who was born on this day in music? Rob Manzoli. From the Right Said Fred. I have to admit something here. I have to admit it. I know people think I know. I never knew who did this song. Because I just heard this song like everybody else. I know this song. I'm too sexy for my body. You heard it everywhere. But I never cared enough to find out who did it. In 1991, it was huge. He's too sexy. I'm still very upset about that. What's the name of that company?
Lululemon.
Thank you. The Lululemon thing, that they're telling women to wear undergarments underneath their Lululemons that match their skin tones. Butt out, so to speak. Let women be free. I support women's liberation in that way. Okay, I got a question for you again. This is, hosts don't like to say that they're ignorant on things. It just never goes well. But I can't lie. There are things that I am totally ignorant about. One, and I've said this before, Hollywood actors and actresses, I don't know who they are. Most things I see, I don't bother to read the credits because it's a waste of time. And I don't know who... I don't care enough about most of them to read the credits. Sometimes I do when I really care. I think it's particularly good. Most of the time, I don't think stuff is particularly good, so I don't bother to read the credits. And I don't know, as a result, there are so many people, I see their names, but I don't know what they were in. I don't remember them. Sometimes I don't even recognize people that I see in pictures, and that's such and such. Oh, that's who that is. So I have a question for you. Carlos, who is Eva Longoria? Who is she?
She's a Latin actress, former wife of NBA Finals MVP Tony Parker.
I don't know who he is. Yeah, by the way, TJ says, good job. Who's the basketball player? Should I know him? Do I care?
Oh, no, it's okay. Doesn't matter that much.
He's a Hall of Famer. Okay, don't know them either. Another thing I'm ignorant about. Don't know the thug ball players either. Like I didn't know Stephen Curry the other day.
Steph, yeah.
Steph. Steph is supposed to be spelled S-T-E-F.
No,
Steph.
S-T-E-P-H. Like Stephen. Steph.
Like, so his name is Stephen?
Yes.
So why don't they just call him Stephen?
Steph is short for Stephen.
All right, so this Eva Longoria, what has she been in that's important?
Desperate Housewives.
Yep, I've seen that too.
Desperate Housewives.
Yeah, that was the top show.
So who was she desperate over? I thought she was married. Why is she desperate?
I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it. Have you ever seen Desperate Housewives,
Yeah.
Carlos?
Yeah.
You have. You actually watched that. She's beautiful.
I mean, the show was a while ago.
It was.
All right, we have Eva Longoria in the soundbite roster today. I keep hearing the name. I don't know what she's been in. I didn't know she was married to some thug ball player. So, cut 5. This is Eva Longoria.
Hey, guys, it's Eva here. I know
It's
we're going
Eva here.
through a really tough time right now as a country.
Wait a
and I
minute,
know my
stop.
community.
Stop. The first thing she says is she's going through a really tough time right now. She's dressed like in this beautiful, looks like cashmere from now. You can't tell the fact, but she's in this beautiful, beautiful backyard, probably in Southern California or some exotic whatever. It doesn't look like life is too hard, but of course looks can, and I say that and I understand, life looks, you can't judge. But I just wanted to make note, she didn't look like she was suffering. So let's continue with Miss Longoria.
Especially has been facing a lot, injustice and fear and moments of hopelessness, and everything that's happening in Minneapolis is so destabilizing. It's horrible. The murder of Alex Preddy, horrible. The murder of Renee Good, horrible. But there was also so many people before them. Keith Porter, Parity Law, Hervé Sanchez Dominguez, Victor Manuel Diaz, Luis Beltran, Luis Gustavo Nunez, Geraldo Lunas Campos. There's so many. And those are the ones that were filmed. They're blatantly murdering U.S. citizens, detaining 5-year-olds like Liam Ramos, patrolling schools and churches. So imagine what they're doing behind closed doors at detention centers with no cameras around, nobody there to have proof of what they're doing. There's so many reports saying they're denying people medical assistance. We know this. Disappearing people from detention databases. So many families have reported their loved ones missing after being detained by ICE. So much horrible things are going on, and they're trying to convince people that they're more powerful than they are and that they're scarier than they are. They're dangerous, don't get me wrong, but this is the moment that we need to keep standing together. God bless everybody who's been out there protesting. I want you to know there are things you can do. Every state has 2 senators. These next 48 hours are crucial to demanding them to vote no on DHS funding. If we head into a government shutdown, we have to encourage them to hold the line until the demands are met, and we need ICE out. And we got to remember, these hard times don't break us. They remind us who we're meant to be. I'm going to leave more info in the next slides for you guys to reference.
Yeah, thank you, Eva. Thanks very much. Okay, so Eva wants you to know, ladies and gentlemen, because you probably don't know, that every state has 2 senators. Every state has 2 senators, and it's really important because if we shut the government down for illegal immigrants this time, please don't cave. You know what? I agree with her on this. I totally agree with her. Eva is right. If Democrats decide that they want to shut the government down again because they want to keep defending illegal immigrants and make sure that American people suffer and government workers suffer, also they can defend illegal aliens, then please let them continue to keep the government shut down. Shut it down until November. Make sure every American knows their government is shut down because Democrats want to make sure that illegal aliens are more important to them than any American cities, than the safety of American cities. Now, I did promise Tom Homan. I don't know whether we're going to get too much Tom Homan because there's something else I got to hit here. Let's go to cut 3. Folks, her name is Mo Ivory. Mo Ivory.
Listen, I know you're watching the news. You're seeing a lot of stuff about this FBI raid at the Fulton County elections and registrations. I'm on the inside right now. So I just want you to be real discerning about all that you're hearing from people who are on the outside of what's going on. I'm going to give you the truth about what's happening. So they served a warrant, the FBI, this is Trump, serving a warrant to go pick up the 2020 ballots, which are in a secure location inside of here, 700 boxes. The first warrant that they gave was incorrect legally, they didn't follow the right procedure. They went back and they fixed it. And they came back and now they are actually collecting the boxes. They are in the chain of command in Fulton County is that once they are archived, they become the possession of the clerk of Superior Court, which is Shay Alexander. She is here and she is with them inventorying everything that they're taking. We, the commissioners, the chairman, the county attorney, are trying to figure out a legal plan as to maybe an injunction, a motion to quash. We don't know yet. We're trying to figure it out. We're getting all kinds of legal advice to stop this because once they have the ballots, how do we then turn around and do something different when they've already got their hands on it? So this is an attempt to take your vote away. This is all about November 2026, about the primary on May 19th and then the November election. He does not want the midterm elections to take away his power. So he's trying to create chaos. So this is what he does. Chaos in Minnesota, chaos in Fulton County. We are a target. Protect your vote at all costs. I'm telling you, everybody always says your life depends on it. Oh, your life does depend on it this time.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me see if I get this straight. Is she? Oh, you said she's talking to the illegal immigrants.
Yeah, that's the only way it makes sense.
That's the only way it makes sense. Because I'm still trying to figure this out. They have the votes from 2020. Oh my gosh! They have the votes. Once they have them, once they have them in their hands, we don't know what to do. Once they have the ballots that were cast in 2020, they're going to stop the 2026 election. What? Why? How does that make sense? Unless there's something very, very, very fishy going on here. How does it make sense that once you have what should be certified ballots, the state certified these things, remember. So once people actually have the ballots taken out of the Democrat Party archive in Fulton County, now it becomes dangerous. Because now they're going to stop your vote in 2026. What exactly is this woman saying? And I saw a CNN headline. In the headline, they seized ballots over it was whatever the phrase was that they use, fraudulent allegations, or that was what it. Hey, liberals, if everything was peachy keen, hunky dory, then why are you worried that the pooch is going to get screwed if people actually get to see the ballots now? How's that screwing the pooch? Okay? What's the problem here? I think if you ran an election that was 100% tickety-boo, you wouldn't have to worry about people looking and saying, okay. Because all they do is just look through the ballots and say, hey, everything here is tickety-boo, just like they said it was. Not a problem. Why are they and their media allies so worried? Now that the ballots are out of the Democrat archive. Thank you, Carlos. I guess that was interference to tell me to shut up. It wasn't. All right. We got to get ready. Tom Homan. Let's do some Tom Homan really quick so I can keep my promises. Cut 6 and follow it immediately by cut 7.
I didn't come to Minnesota for photo ops or headlines. You haven't seen me. I came here to seek solutions, and that's what we're going to do. And we've come a long way, and we got some good wins for the people of Minnesota, I think, and for the administration and for the safety security of this city. One thing we did agree on, though, everybody I talked to agreed on, was that community safety is paramount.
Yeah, community safety.
Around less than 3 full days. I got in here Monday. President of the United States called me Monday morning and asked me to deploy here. Got here Monday evening, and I'm staying till the problem's gone. But we've made a lot of progress in the last 3 days. Marcos Charles, he's running ICE operations here. There you go. Rodney Scott, Commissioner of Customs and Border Protection, standing here beside me. Good morning. I'm Tom Homan, the Border Czar for President Trump. I'm here on behalf of the President, along with U.S. Commissioner of U.S. Customs and Border Protection, Rodney Scott, and Marcos Charles, who's leading the enforcement effort here right now. I've been on the ground since Monday to regain law and order in the city beloved by many, and work together to remove threats from the community. During the past administration, we'll all remember.
And he went on to say that they let in 10 million people. We know that, and they've been trying to sort it out. You know what the issues are there. So Tom Homan, and he got some really good questions too, as well as some of the usual suspects. Cut 12 very quickly before we head off to a break. One of the things Tom Homan said about the numbers that came in under the Biden administration.
We'll all remember, more than 10 million illegal aliens entered this nation. Many were national security threats, public safety threats. We can't remember we're 2 million known gotaways. 2 million people who paid more to get away. Why? That should scare the hell out of everybody.
It does scare the heck out of a lot of people. Okay? Cut 11. This is very, very important. Tom Homan.
I begged for the last 2 months on TV for the rhetoric to stop. I said in March, if the rhetoric didn't stop, there's going to be bloodshed. And there has been. I wish I wasn't right.
I don't
want to see anybody die. Not officers, not members of the community, and not the targets of our operations.
Well, let's go. We're going to keep on with Tom. And I remember, and you should remember too, seeing Tom Homan over and over again saying something bad is going to happen if they keep this up. It's going to happen. And it has happened. Okay? And now people are pretending that it doesn't. One more from Tom Homan, and then I want to play something else for you. He talked about what was agreed to, cut 8. This is Tom Homan and discussing the meeting that he had with the Minnesota officials. Tim Walz, by the way, says he's out of politics forever and ever and ever. Good.
Sanctuary cities are sanctuaries for criminals and endangers the residents of the community. To be clear, we did not agree with Minnesota state and local officials that they would be involved in immigration enforcement. I didn't ask them to be immigration officers. I'm asking them to be cops working with the cops to help us take criminal aliens off the street. What we did agree upon is not to release public safety arrests back in the community, and they could be lawfully transferred to ICE. I'll speak more about that. I will highlight that the Minnesota State Prison System under the Department of Corrections have been honoring ICE detainers. And we appreciate that important collaboration, and we're going to expand upon that. That decision has made Minnesota safer.
Now, I mentioned before some of the questions. You won't hear questions like this come up in most of the, and I bet you, boy, some of these reporters were seething at this. Cut 13, question and answers to Tom Homan during his presser.
First off, Ben Burkbaum, Real America's Voice News. On behalf of the American people, I just want to say thank you to you and to all of the agents that are putting their lives on the line to go after the people that were allowed in the last administration. We watched that happen in the media, the honest media, covered up by many of the media that are behind me. We want to say thank you, and to all the men and women that are out there. Can you talk to us about what's being done with the leadership on these signal chats, on these WhatsApp chats that are organizing the attacks against you, the obstruction against you? Are we going to be arresting those individuals as well? And to the folks out there in America that voted for this, that want mass deportations because they saw a mass invasion under Joe Biden, what would you say to them? How are we going to get to that point?
Well, first of all, about the organization and the funding of the attacks on ICE. I'm not going to answer a lot about that because I'm not going to show our hand, but they'll be held accountable. Justice is coming.
Justice is coming. Don't worry, my friend. Justice is coming to all of them. Now, let's go up to Massachusetts for a moment and check in with their Senator Ed Markey. Mark. Let's check in with Ed Markey. Ed Markey, Senator from Massachusetts, cut 18. This is Senator Ed Markey from the state of Massachusetts.
So that's what we're going to be demanding. And if John Thune says no, then we're prepared to debate that until the cows come home, because we're at a critical point in the history of our nation. We are seeing something that is absolutely unprecedented. It actually goes back 250 years in Boston when the Minutemen and Minutewomen rose up in order to stand against King George and his arbitrary imposition of laws illegally upon American citizens. And this latter-day generation of patriots, they're rising up in Minneapolis, they're rising up across the country, and the Department of Homeland Security bill is the vehicle we need to use in order to have that debate.
In order to have that debate, they're modern-day men. They're rising up against arbitrary laws. These laws have been on the books for decades. If they were arbitrary laws, they were arbitrary when Obama was enforcing them, and people like Ed Markey didn't complain. How dare him compare these agitators, these vandals, these anti-law enforcement people to the Minutemen? The only thing that Democrats are in full Civil War mode, and you hear him talking about it. This is the lawless bunch of Democrats. They are not patriots. Arbitrary laws These same laws were on the books. Obama deported 5 million people using them. There were deportations, not as many as there should have been, during the Bush 43 years. There were even deportations during the Clinton years. And Democrats didn't complain. Now, all of a sudden, same laws, and they're being enforced, and all of a sudden, you have this person from Massachusetts comparing these people that are spitting on federal law enforcement agents, that are trying to vandalize them, that are surrounding where they sleep and where they are to try to dox them and hurt their families. He's comparing these people to the Minutemen. It's a disgrace. I'm looking at the clock trying to see how much time we have because we have one more reference that we want to get to. Oh, Tim Wall. 2 minutes. We'll have Tim Walsh says he's never running in for anything again. Thanks, Tim. Bye, Tim.
We're already doing it. Do you regret jumping out before such a consequential moment?
No, and part of it was to look. I recognize that I'm a lightning rod, and this is a tough space where I'm in because I know they hate me personally, and they take it out on my constituents because old white guys who are former governors tend to land on their feet okay type of thing. But in all fairness on the timing, I removed myself, and then 2 days later, Renee Good is murdered. But I think one of the things is I have no political consideration, will never run for an elected office again.
Never again.
Never again. And I will just do the work. And what I found is, again, I'm going to say this. There's heroes on the streets that we don't know their names. They're never going to run for office. And those grass-top leaders brought this administration to their knees this week to do something about it. So there's other ways to serve. The
administration was not brought to its knees. We're going to leave it today with James Ingram, who passed away on this day in 2019. Baby Come to Me with Patty Austin in 1982 was huge. He came to notice on the Quincy Jones albums, Find 100 Ways and Just Once on the same album, and that just broke him to the public life. What a singer, what an artist, singer and songwriter James Ingram passed away. 2019 on this day. May God bless, protect each and every single one of you, your families, your loved ones. Love and gratitude, my friends, for your being here with me, allowing me to be with you. God willing, we're back for the Already It's Friday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour tomorrow. Until then, I bid you adieu. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. You can hear Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour weekdays at 4 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our country has to offer, especially health care. Across every state, every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.
This podcast is brought to you by Carvana. Car shopping shouldn't feel like preparing for a marathon of paperwork. That's why Carvana makes buying and financing your car easy. From start to finish, search thousands of vehicles with great prices. All online, all on your time. And when you're ready, your new car shows up right at your door. It doesn't get better than that. Buy your car the easy way. On Carvana. Delivery fees may apply.